Hello everyone, and welcome to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Care Network. I'm Dean, the host of the N.A.R.C.N network and channel, and also the host of the Unmasking the Narcissist channel. Today I'm going to be presenting to you episode 121 on the N.A.R.C.N network, and the title of episode 121 is How to Detach from a Narcissist, and this is actually part 4, and in part 4 we'll be talking about doing this within the confines of parental situations. So I'm going to be just giving you guys a couple of ideas here if anybody out there is not already aware of what to do when you're dealing with a narcissist in the instance that you are married to this person or you're currently living with them and you have children with this person, and what to do in this instance. So we can find a lot of other information on the internet concerning what we might try to do with this person who we're dealing with. And of course, again, this depends on the narcissist you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a very high level narcissist who is perhaps doing other things to you, like cheating on you, or just doing other higher level things that a narcissist does, you may want to employ a more serious level of separation to get away from them while you're dealing with your children and whatever else is going on. If they're a lesser narcissist, you may not have to take such severe measures. A lot of narcissistic experts on the internet commonly suggest going gray rock with this person. If you want to look up what going gray rock means, I have some stuff about this on the N.A.R.C.N network. As well as there's lots of other narcissistic experts out there that talk about going gray rock with a person if you want to utilize that type of behavior with them. But I'm just going to give you guys out there a little bit of information from my knowledge base, based on also the knowledge of other experts out there, if you're not really sure what to do in this instance. But if you are dealing with a person that you now know is a narcissist in your life and you have children, of course you do consciously have to think about what's going on with the children as well. Here you don't want them to be shocked or suddenly be greatly imbalanced by whatever's going on with you two. But if you are trying to get away from that person that you're with, there are some things that you're going to have to do here. So if you choose, in the situation of dealing with a narcissist, to attempt to not communicate with them as much, again, this can be very difficult if you currently live with this narcissist. And if you actually are living with a narcissist, it's a little bit more difficult to do the thing where you don't communicate with them. But I would suggest that if you are, and you have some means of getting away from this narcissist where you don't have to continue to be cohabitating with them, and you can go somewhere else, back to your parents, to another area, or you basically have the means within yourself to perhaps move out of there and move out by yourself, either with your children or without your children, and you can share custody of the children or whatever's going on there. I would really implore you to try to get away from that narcissist as much as you can. And then the second thing to do is you want to try to cut down as much communication with them as you possibly can. Communicate with them when it has to do with the children, preferably only when it has to do with the children. If you find that that is too difficult to do with them because they're just causing you too much grief in the confines of doing that, you can actually contact a lawyer, and a lawyer may actually assign an intermediary person to deal with that person, where you don't have to talk to your ex or your spouse with stuff to do with the children. That intermediary person will communicate with your spouse or with your ex directly from you as to what needs to go on with that children, and you need not to have any direct contact with your spouse or that ex that you're dealing with at all. You can simply tell that intermediary the information that you want to convey, and they will convey that to that other person that you're involved with that is a co-parent, and you can have things basically happen that particular way where you don't have to have any direct communication with them at all. Of course, if you're dealing with a narcissist that is a lesser degree, you may be okay having communication with them, and you may not have to really cut it down to that level where you have to cut off any direct communication with them at all. And if that's the case, that is probably a good thing. But I am going to say that if you are dealing with a narcissist, no matter what level that they are, you want to probably try to severely limit your dialogue with them as much as you can, because these are times when a narcissist will use the maximum amount of manipulation that they can to get to you and to influence you in negative ways, or in ways that they want you to interact with them. Because this is what narcissists do, and they will also use your children against you to do this as well too. This is a common action that most narcissists do. They will use your children to gain influence with you or to gain control of you, because narcissists, again, don't really care too much about what's really going on with other people. They don't really care who they use to get control of situations. They will use friends around them. They will use acquaintances. They will use their children to get to you, to get what they want out of you. And this is part of their whole psychological makeup and part of what they are as narcissists. So again, the less communication you have to have directly with a narcissist, the better. Do whatever you think is best for you. But by all means, look into the legality of this too as well too. Contact a lawyer, see what that lawyer says to you about this. Tell the lawyer all about the severity of what you're dealing with so they can give you some advice too. I by no means am a lawyer, and I'm not qualified to give you legal advice about what you want to do with your narcissist in any particular way. I would say go directly to a person in law and have them inform you of what your rights are and what can be particularly done to deal with this narcissist that you're dealing with. The one way I can inform you is I can definitely inform you of the scientific background to do with your narcissist, and how to perhaps, break away from them permanently and get away from them and stay away from them if that's what you particularly need to do. But conventionality basically says here, get away from your narcissist, limit communication with them as much as you can. If you have children with them, try not to deal with them, try not to interact with them, because this will definitely be beneficial to you in the way as far as them not having any direct influence with you to upset you or to try to gain control with you or to try to have anything else particularly happen that they want to try to achieve with you. Because again, the narcissist goal here is always to control you and to control the situation as much as possible. So when you take that control away from them, they first of all become very upset or angry, and they will lash out in many ways against this. What you have to do is ignore that. If they are lashing out or conducting themselves in a very negative way with you, eliminate them from the ability of doing that with you altogether as you can. Do that by any means necessary that you have to do, and you will definitely improve the situation if you do not have to interact with them in those particular ways. Because when the narcissist isn't able to manipulate you or something, or to control you in any particular way, that definitely makes the situation easier, and it makes it easier for you to get away from that narcissist and also to recover from their narcissistic abuse as well too. The goal is to get away from them, as far away from them as possible, or permanently away from them. It's sad sometimes because we have to deal with another person we have children with. And I always have to think you have to think of your children as well too. Your children are also dealing with a narcissist, and that narcissist can also influence your children in very adverse, negative ways. In about 50% of the instances where someone is dealing with another narcissist in a relationship with them, about 50% of the time, one of those children, or a child, if you only have one, can be influenced in a way that narcissistic disorder can rub off on your children and actually cause them to become narcissists or to show some narcissistic disorder traits that you may have to deal with later in life with them. That's sad to say, but that is actually the scientific position or case that happens here with a lot of children of a narcissistic parent. And when their narcissistic parents have really intense influence on them, we often see this propagated or pushed forward to the children in their behavior. It's very sad, but this is what actually happens. So again, my advice here is limit contact with this narcissist as much as possible, or altogether if you feel the necessity to do that, by legal means or whatever. Get a facilitator, get a mediator to talk for you in between yourself and that narcissist and deal with things that way if you have to. So this has just been a little bit of advice for people out there who may not know exactly what to do with their narcissist if they're not really aware of what the protocol is to deal with a narcissist that you have that's a spouse when you have children. These are some of the things I figured I'd just talk to you guys about quickly here in episode 121. There's going to be a part 5 to episode 121. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up in the next little while here. We're going to continue to talk about narcissists and how to detach from the narcissist if you're dealing with one, in all different scenarios here, including whether you're married or living with them, whether or not you're not attached in that way to them. We'll be going over all these aspects of how to detach from a narcissist in this series of episode 121. So I'm just going to say to you guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Stay tuned for some upcoming content on the N.A.R.C.N network and also on the Unmasking the Narcissist channel. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you again really soon.